By the way, I love the Nothing But Trouble reference.
Of course you know that movie.
That movie is a fucking trip, man.
Of course you know that movie. If no one if anybody listening hasn't seen Nothing But Trouble,
yeah, please.
Starring Chevy Chase, Dan Aykroyd. I believe it was written and directed by Dan Aykroyd. It was just one shot at making a movie, and it was so bad he never got to make another movie again.
Exactly right. That is exactly right. Dan Aykroyd. Oh, actually, you want another fun piece of trivia? Quick one. I am obsessed with Dan Aykroyd, and so is Michael, and I am a hyper obsessed. Specifically, for years, I've been fucking obsessed with that video of him explaining Crystal Head vodka, and he comes out talking about his product to a regular customer, potentially to investors, and he says something about how witches and aliens. He talks about UFOs and their inhabitants. That's the exact phrasing he uses: UFOs and their inhabitants, and for some reason,
I still don't understand. Is it a bit, or does he genuinely believe it?
No, he means it.
No.
I've seen so many interviews. He means it.
His whole family were like ghost hunters or something. That's where Ghostbusters came from.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, but why was he normal? So was he never normal? Was he always like that?
Yeah, I'll tell you why. Because I've seen probably most Dan Aykroyd interviews because of that. There's an interview of him on Johnny Carson when Ghostbusters came out, and this is him. When he's like 40 years old or 30 something. He's a young guy. This is in the 80s, and they're asking questions, and Dan Aykroyd starts very sincerely going on a rant about how spirits and ghosts are real, and the audience doesn't know if he's fucking with them or not, but he's complete. Yeah, that's it. And Bill Murray's just they're kind of brushing him off a little bit, but yeah, he really, yeah, his dad I think was his grandfather was like a famous like Canadian medium or something.
Here's the issue with me. It seems like he has like a childlike. It seems like he's playing when he's talking about this stuff. It doesn't seem like it's like genuinely causing him like anxiety, or I don't see him being scared of being abducted when he's like in his bed at night. Like it feels like he's kind of lying a little bit just because to play along with the bit. That's how I feel.
I think it's just because he thinks it's fun. Like if you listen to the Joe Rogan podcast with him, it's kind of uncomfortable because he's getting pushback when he's talking about Mothman. And he believes in literally every single thing you can name.
He doesn't believe in Mothman.
He fucking believes in Mothman, dude. He believes in Mothman.
See, that's what makes me think he's kind of just pushing it for the, how far can I go until people are like, dude, shut up.
So you think it is a bit. I think maybe it. Like I think he thinks it's like funny, like cool. He thinks it's like interesting.
Yeah.
But anyway, sorry. The small anecdote of all of that was, the Halloween episode. We really, really, really wanted to get Dan Aykroyd for the opening live action and outro part where that guy comes in, who by the way did a great job. I think did like a better job than we could have expected. But that was kind of written for Dan Aykroyd and also Norm Macdonald, who we didn't know.
Was that would have been amazing.
Yeah,
I know.
Yeah.
I know.
Dan Aykroyd's father, Peter Aykroyd, wrote A History of Ghosts, a true story of seances, mediums, ghosts, and Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
So like that's a real thing in his family.
His whole, as a kid, he would have.
Oh, he talks.
That would be so weird.
There's actually we could wrap up the Dan Aykroyd talk, but I've seen so many interviews. There's an interview that he goes on with Dan Aykroyd with his dad on a Canadian like podcast thing, and I think he's a very interesting guy. He's very strange, but he's also creative. Like the original Ghostbusters is about them on the moon. It was fucking crazy, and they're like, well, maybe it's just dude. The original Ghostbusters was like in the future, and I think the original idea was like they're exterminators for ghosts, but it's also like on the moon, and like there's also monsters. It was just too crazy.
It seems like he's got like that George Lucas thing where it's like too much, and then someone else has to come and be like, all right, chill out, dude. Like,
maybe
let's
Han
keep some of
Solo
this weird stuff.
Should be a lizard. Maybe Han Solo should be a guy.
Maybe not, man. Maybe just a man. Maybe just a normal person we can actually cast.
Was Han Solo supposed to be a lizard?
I think he was supposed to be a lizard man. Yeah.
It's one of the it is. I think it's Han Solo, isn't it?
Oh my god.
Yeah, I think it was Han Solo. He's supposed to be a lizard or a fish or something.
Well, no, I'll button the Dan Aykroyd conversation by saying Nothing But Trouble is a movie you should watch, but it is absolutely horrible, and it's the reason he never got to make another movie ever again in Hollywood.
No, he didn't make another one because he didn't have to.
Yeah.
It was a mic drop.
He made his Star Wars and he fucking walked away. He turned 360 degrees and he walked away. You got it.
Yeah, Bobo and Fartsy. What's the other one's name?
I can't remember, but he plays one of them because nobody wanted to play the other fucking twin.
Is that real? Is that why he had to do it?
I think so. I don't quote me on that, but he definitely plays one of the two. I don't think anybody wanted to sit in prosthetic for 9 hours. I'll just fucking do it.
He couldn't pay anybody to dress up like that.
Put the baby makeup on me. I'll just fucking do it. We'll just shoot the scene. We'll be done. I'll put the baby makeup on me. He jumped on that grenade.
Yeah, he's you at 2 o'clock in the morning recording those lines.
Doing the Renaissance man.
That was his Renaissance man. That giant junkyard baby. It was his Renaissance man.
The junkyard baby twins. Oh my God. It's so good.
Tupac is in it, and also Tupac. That was Tupac's. I forget what was the act he was associated with. I forget.
Digital Underground.
Yeah, that was the first. That was the first time they were ever in a movie or anything, right?
Oh, but they want to be actors too.
Yeah. R.I.P. to Shock G. He just passed away.
That's right.
Last year.
Yep.
Yeah.
The leader of Digital Underground. All right. Back to Smiling Friends. It keeps happening.
Dan Aykroyd for 2 hours.
It just keeps happening.
Can we just get a character in Smiling Friends that has the same nose as the Reeve in Nothing But Trouble?
Absolutely.
That's really all I need.
I'd love to have a
slowly devouring a disgusting hot dog.
You know, we couldn't do the DJ Spit pubes, the Happy Trail, but I'd love if we could do a cock nose. That'd be amazing. Like I think 7 people have seen that movie, but I would love to throw around.
Well, the noses on Smiling Friends are iconic already at this
you know who
point.
That would work the best?
It's like half noses.
The boss that would make the most sense with.
The
boss is like eating a hot dog. Come in here, boys. He's eating a hot dog. Just rip off that movie. I've never seen anyone reference that. You know.
Come on in here, boys.
Come on in, boys.
What is this movie? What's the
basic? We have to move up. But the log line is it's Chevy Chase and his wife go. It's based on a real story Dan Aykroyd had where he was like driving through rural New York and he got pulled over for a ticket. It was like a small town, and the judge like invited him to his house and said, "Come to my house, and we'll resolve the ticket." He was like so freaked out by it that he wrote and directed this giant movie. This is after Ghostbusters. This is after
way after.
This is after Coneheads, I think too. Like it's after Blues Brothers. It's after all the shit that people like Dan Aykroyd for. And this was his first directorial debut, and he wrote it. This was like his vision, and he made this movie about Chevy Chase and his wife going to this small town.
Demi Moore,
yeah, and they go to this small town, and it's like basically the same thing. They have a taillight out, and John Candy, who's the police officer of the small town, says, "We got to take you to the courthouse," and they get locked in this insane like Hills Have Eyes town. But the movie is deeply unappealing to look at. It's ugly. It's not very funny, but it's really creative. It's really creative. Like it's not uninspired.
Never let a banker go.
Does Dan Aykroyd actually show up in the movie?
He not only shows up, he plays the judge who has a cock nose. Basically, there's like a judge character who's like, come in here and have dinner with me. And like, he gives everyone like gray hot dogs. And there's one shot, they're like gray rotten hot dogs. I don't know, and there's like a little choo-choo train that gives them condiments and
wieners.
Shit. Yeah,
they're giant.
Look at the chat. He only eats hot dogs, and
the condiments are on a train. The condiments are on like a choo-choo train that goes around the table.
It plays the Wabash Cannonball as it zips around the table with pickles.
But then, for no reason, for I think 1, maybe 2 shots on the close-up of that judge character's face, the tip of his nose is literally a cock. For no reason, they never address it or explain. I think Chevy Chase just makes a face. He goes, "Oh," you know, but they never explain the cock nose. Does it leak any liquid? No, but it should have. It should have spurted something. Yeah, that'd be nice. Anyhow, that is nothing but trouble. So please.
And this was a panned movie. This was a flop, was it?
Yes.
I think Siskel and Ebert hated it. Yeah, I don't think they liked it.
Horribly received. It was very, very poorly received.
Why are you the only ones? Are you guys the only ones that saw it in the whole world?
I think so.
I think 7 people in America, including Dan Aykroyd, have seen that fucking movie.
Yeah. No,
I bet I've seen it 50 times though.
Yeah.
I mean, it was on HBO just like daily for several summers in a row.
Yeah.
Well, it's a good summer movie. It really gets you the summer vibe.
Yeah. Oh, there you go. There's the Rotten Tomato, 13%.
That's a gut punch.